Hello everyone, welcome back to Home and Gardening with Monique. So this is another gardening vlog. So today I will be checking on my sweet potato slips that I planted back in April. So it's been 4 months and I want to check and see if they're ready to be harvested. So I will be doing that and also starting my seeds for my fall crop. So stay tuned. Alright, so I have 2 containers of sweet potatoes that were planted in these gray bins, laundry bins here. So I'm going to empty each bin out on this little mat right here because I will be reusing the soil from each container. And let's see what we have. Alright, so I have emptied the first container on this mat, so let's dig through and see what we have. Yep. Just some little skinny minis. Just some little skinny minis. Nothing too spectacular. Hopefully not yet, huh? My last year harvest of sweet potatoes were much better than this. Alright, so this was all that come out of the first container. So I'm going to go ahead and dump out the second container, which is a little bit larger than this first container. Alright, so this is the second container that I emptied out. So let's see what this one holds. This is all that come out of that pile. Yep, and this was not a very great harvest of sweet potatoes, but it was worth the try. I think that I did better last year. I had like bigger size sweet potatoes, but not beating myself up about it. I got a whole big bowl full, and yes, I am going to use them. And I'm going to use this soil to maybe repot some of my pepper plants that I have sitting over there. Alright you guys, so I am about to separate these two ghost pepper plants, and I planted these, I believe, about a month ago together in this grow bag, but they were quite small. So now that they are, you know, they have gotten taller and are bushing out, I would rather for them to have their own space. I actually didn't have faith that they would continue to even grow, so that's why I just put both of them together in a grow bag. So I know that it is a little, you know, back and forth type of work, but you know, I didn't have a lot of grow bags at the time, or a lot of other pots that I could plant these in, but I have since then purchased some more grow bags, so now I can you know, get these separated and put into their own grow bag. And also they still have quite some time to keep producing, because I am zone 8B, so I do have maybe about 60 to 70 more days before my first frost, which is, I believe, is like in early November, or somewhere like maybe like early November or mid-November, somewhere in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just separate these, and I have another grow bag, and the dirt that I have from the sweet potato harvest, I'm going to use that soil, because it is still like some rich soil. I will add in some compost with it, and some extra fertilizer, so I think that would be just fine. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's see. I'm trying to reach deep down where I can feel the base of the roots of the plant. And there we go. So I'm gonna place it right in here where it can have its own space. And I'm just gonna fill it in with some dirt. I'm gonna get this one kind of centered. So now it has its own space and its own room for its roots to grow. Move that one out the way. To give you guys a closer look, and I'm just gonna add in some more soil to come up to here. And it has grown quite nicely and more lush, and it has plenty of flowers on it, which means that it may give off even more fruit, because it has more space now to do its thing. And that's one thing that I've this year in particular that I learned about container gardening, is especially with my tomatoes and pepper plants, is that it's best to plant one plant per container. See, last year I grew corn in 5-gallon buckets, and I grew 2 stalks of corn per bucket, and they did just fine. So I just thought maybe my like tomato and pepper plants, you know, would do the same thing. But I noticed with my tomato and pepper plants, from my experience at least, is that I get smaller yields, or smaller peppers, or smaller tomatoes. So you know, this is a learning process for me, and I'm learning as I go. So I know next year, if I plan to plant my tomatoes in containers again, or buckets, I know next year to only do 1 per bucket, to see how that works. Alright, you guys, so I'm just showing you my seedlings. So these are my mustard green seedlings. And I planted the seeds for these maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I had to separate each seedling and plant them in these seed trays here, so that it'll give them the opportunity to continue to grow. So I have them, of course, inside and under the grow light, and these are the seeds that I recently started today. And what I plan to do is I have some plastic wrap, and I'm going to take each of these containers and wrap them in plastic wrap, and the plastic wrap is going to serve as like a little greenhouse, you know, to keep the moisture inside the soil and keep the seeds moistened as well. By you doing this, it could speed up the germination process. So far I only have collards, mustard greens, more mustard greens planted, and kale. And I ran out of cabbage seeds and broccoli seeds, and I think there's something else that I wanted to plant as well. But this year for my fall gardening, it's going to be all container gardening. I don't think that I want to go through the struggle with planting, you know, my fall crops out into my garden beds, because I don't have a greenhouse. And if you guys were following me since last year on my gardening journey, when the fall and winter came, you know, if there was going to be a frost, I had to keep, you know, covering my plants over if there was like snow or frost or something like that, to protect my fall crop. And I don't want to go through that again, so I think it'll be easier for me to plant all of my fall crops in grow bags or buckets this year. So I'm just going to see how that works out for me. But the grow house, the greenhouse idea for me, I'm hoping and I pray that next year I will be able to either build one or maybe look for one on Amazon. I'm not for sure, but I think I would rather build one, because when you build it, in my opinion, it appears to be more sturdier than the ones that you may get off of Amazon. So you guys, this is the end of this vlog. I thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching, and thank you all for new and my existing subscribers for your support as well. I will see you guys on the next video. You guys have a very blessed and great weekend, and I will see you later.